to K24 News Cut. My name is Shiksha Arora, joined by a sign language interpreter this afternoon, Pauline Mudhoni. Of course, we'll be keeping you up to speed with the top stories of the day, and thank you for joining us this 30th day of August. Of course, right, making the top story of the day, where the fate of Kiambu magistrate Brian Kayamba, who resigned in June after being suspended over gross misconduct, will be known today at the Milimani Law Courts. Now, the magistrate, who issued a controversial ruling in May granting Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu an anticipatory bail, denied wrongdoing, saying he adhered to a High Court decision which he cited in his ruling. Now, Kayamba said, given the indefinite timeline the hearing and determination of his disciplinary case could take, and the fact that Chief Justice David Maraga had suspended him with no pay, he opted out to engage in other income-generating activities. And right now, we'll be taking you directly to Milimani Law Courts, where the case is ongoing, and let's listen in to the latest. All right, of course, that is from Milimani Law Courts, where we'll be giving you more details regarding that particular story in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, moving on, the dream towards achieving a food-secure nation is slowly taking shape at the Galana Kulalu Food Security Project. Currently, over 5.2 billion has been spent, with only 1,500 acres under production against a target of 3,300 acres of the initial phase of 10,000 acres. Take a look.
You cannot see any sign of any place.
With the opposition leader Raila Odinga touring the project Thursday, he said the project is implemented fully as Kenya stands to gain towards achieving a food-secure nation.
Ni kweli kumekuwako na changamoto kwa hii mradi kama vile inavyojulikana, lakini hatuwezi kusema ati hii ni ile ambayo inaitwa kwa kimombo ati ni white elephant, yani ndovu nyeupe. Hii mradi vile tumeona inafanya kazi. Tumeona vile mahindi inatoka hapa.
This can only be achieved if the current funding stalemate and differences between the National Irrigation Board and Green Arava, an Israel farm that is contracted, delivers the project.
Tumependekeza ati inatakikana kuwa na ushauriano baada ya wale wote ambayo wanahusika, yani washikadau wote hii mradi.
Green Arava claims there are cartels sabotaging the project by delaying the payment of over 2.4 billion shillings. The two governors are also demanding control of the project, saying they have the capacity to do so, but the national government stands firm on their demand, stating that it is a national project which will benefit the entire country.
Tunataka muradi huu uwe katika milki ya kaunti hizi mbili. Kwamba yalopita si ndio yale tugange yajayo. Kwa hivyo wakati huu tunasema kwamba ni muhimu kwamba tufanye mazungumzo na hatimaye milki ya mradi huu uwe katika mabega ya kaunti hizi mbili.
Robi Omondi, K24 News Cut.
All right, moving on to other stories, where fishmongers along Sori Beach of Migori County have expressed concern over losses incurred due to lack of preservation equipment. Now, according to the chairman of Sori Beach Management, Justice Sabare, their daily harvest is usually estimated to be 2 tons, and half of this goes to waste during the rainy seasons due to lack of better preserving refrigerators. The fishermen are now calling upon the national and county government to come to their aid and purchase proper equipment to preserve the fish.
Dagaa haikauki. Hiyo tuna hasara mara ya kwanza, kwa sababu isipokauka ile bei ungeuza ikiwa imekauka inapungua.
They can buy for us dryer to dry our dagger during rainy season, so we don't run at a loss, because we are taking dagger at 1,000, then we are selling it at 800. That is a big loss.
All right, moving on to matters environment, where the Mao eviction project, phase 2 is set to begin next week. And right now, we'll be taking you to an event where Environment CS, that is Keriako Tobiko, is currently addressing. So let's listen in to the latest from this particular event.
Masai Mao water tower it's a source of major rivers that sustain life within the county, beyond the county, including into Lake Victoria. The rivers that feed into the Mara River, Ewaso Nyiro, rivers that go all the way to Lake Natron, rivers that go to Lake Victoria. 5% of the waters of Lake Victoria source from the Mara River basin. You have a critical sensitive ecosystem that has been destroyed and is being destroyed in broad daylight. In broad daylight. Okay? Now, why? Why are we doing this? Yet our constitution is very, very clear that every Kenyan has a right to a clean, safe, and healthy environment, okay, including an obligation on the part of the government to protect and conserve ecologically sensitive areas. Masai Mao is the most ecologically sensitive. It is a biodiversity hotspot. Kenya has entered into and has international and regional treaty obligations. We signed an MOU with Tanzania in 2015 for the protection of the Mara Basin, which sustains the life of 1.6 million. The Mara River alone, forget about it for the moment, Wasonyiro and others, 1.6 million. Not to mention the wildlife, not to mention the pastoralists, not to mention the flamingos, the unique and rare flamingos in Lake Natron. The Masai Mara, our iconic Masai Mara, depends. It's not just one of the wonders of the world, okay? But it is a critical asset, a national asset. It depends wholly. The wildlife, the wild beast migration that cannot survive for long without the Mara River. You cannot have the Mara River if you do not have the Masai Mao. You cannot. Now, how did we come to this point? How did we come to this point? Because it's not a new thing. We came to this point out of greed and brazen impunity. The Maasai group ranches that adjoined the Maasai, as you know, this is just a maybe, that adjoined the Mao forest. About 6 or 7 of them, when created in the 90s, had a combined size, acreage, of less than 8,000 acres. Combined. This is now declared, boundaries clear, titles issued, less than 8,000 combined land size adjoining the forest. But what happened? Group ranch officials, these are Maasais, they are known. decided, working in collusion with land officials in Narok County, balloon the boundaries of the group ranches beyond the gazetted boundaries, and created out of that an extra 35,000 acres. 35,000 acres. So the total combined cumulative size of the group ranches, less than 8. They ballooned the boundaries and created an additional 35,000 into the most sensitive and ecologically critical area of the Masai Mara. And this now is the...
All right, of course, that is CS Environment Keriako Tobiko, who has been addressing regarding phase 2 of Mau evictions. Now, remember, 15 schools have been shut down in Mau Forest in these phase 2 evictions, and 17,000 acres of land in the phase 2 of Mau Forest evictions is set to be cleared, which will affect approximately 10,000 households. Moving on to Census 2019, where a census enumerator has been arrested after he showed up at a resident's house in Murang'a County drunk. The official was staggering and disorderly when he went to count a family in Mukuyu to an extent of urinating in the living room. This as residents of Kalanzani border of Makueni and Machakos counties boycotted the exercise, claiming border rivalry, as Angela Chiror reports.
A few hours to the close of the 2019 census, residents of Kalanzani location at the border of Machakos and Makueni counties have resolved to disengage themselves in the 2019 housing and population census. The agitated Kilombo, Mbondeni, Guinea and Kalonzoni residents claim they are listed in Machakos County, hence they won't be counted as they will be penned in a different county.
Tuko Makueni na tunahesabiwa Machakos. Kila kitu yote kula tunapika Makueni, chakula tunakula kutoka Makueni. Kwa hivyo tuko shida nyingi sana.
Hakuna vile unaweza kuambiwa ukitaka kuona governor enda Makueni. Ukitaka kuona county commissioner enda Machakos. Hiyo itakuwa ni shida kwa watu wa Kimakio Kalanzoni. Na hiyo itakuwa ni shida kwa watu wa Kalanzoni kwa sababu mahali gavana hako Makueni kuna county commissioner.
They urge the government to embark on resolving the border issues as the area lies in Machakos County administratively, while political borders are in Kimakiu Kalonzoni ward, Kilome constituency in Makueni County. In an open meeting held at Kalonzoni Shopping Center, they vowed not to participate in the exercise.
Utajiri wetu wote uko Makueni. Kama ni basari huwa tunatoa Makueni. Kutengenezewa mabarabara tumetengenezewa ni watu kutoka Makueni. Tuko na hospitali iko hapa tulitengenezewa na Kivudha inatoka Makueni. Kwa hivyo services zetu zote zinatoka Makueni. Tunasema tuhesabiwe Makueni. Juu hatuwezi tukakubali tuhesabiwe Machakos na sisi ni wakaaji wa Makueni. Wenye walikuja kutuhesabu walitoka Machakos. Kwa hivyo ndio tulisema hatuwezi kuhesabiwa.
In Samburu County, the census exercise is at 90%, despite cases of illiteracy reported in the region, posing a challenge to the enumerators. It is to Samburu County to ensure the ongoing census is successful. Education Department of State Training Skills Development Permanent Secretary Alfred Cheriot toured Ngari village, where he counseled the youth on the importance of taking part in census before they underwent their initiation ceremony.
Hapa hatuchapata ripoti, lakini unachoa uwezi kosa mtu mmoja ama wawili ambaye labda hajaelewa nini inaendelea, lakini tunataka kueleza kila mtu nini kazi ya serikali, anataka kujua idadi ya wananchi ambao wanaishi nchini Kenya ni wangapi na wako wapi. Hiyo ndio tu for purpose of planning.
Angela Chiror, K24 News Cut.
All right, of course, and as we had said earlier on, the fate of Kiambu Magistrate Brian Kayamba, who resigned in June after being suspended over gross misconduct, will be known today at the Milimani Law Courts. Now, the magistrate who issued a controversial ruling in May granting Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu an anticipatory bail denied wrongdoing, saying he adhered to a High Court decision, which he cited in his ruling. Kayamba said, given the indefinite timeline and hearing, the determination of his indisciplinary case could take, and the fact that Chief Justice David Maraga had suspended him with no pay, he opted out to engage in other income-generating activities. Our reporter, Lennox Sangre, is at the Milimani Law Courts and, of course, is going to be giving us the latest regarding this particular court case. Good afternoon, Lennox. What is the latest?
Well, Shiksha, due in court this afternoon is a ruling on Brian Kayamba, who had since been suspended by the Chief Justice, that is David Maraga. He also tendered his resignation an hour after he had been suspended. For today, we anticipate that the justice is going to be served today, where in 15 minutes' time, we are waiting for the justice really to deliver a judgment that will go to the side of Kayamba or will uplift what really Maraga did, say that he remains suspended until his case is fully determined before the courts. Seated around here are the senior lawyers who will be also hearing this case and also determining this case, helping really to give what is supposed to be determined today. They have been following this case since it started. For today, we are expecting this judge really to give us a comprehensive judgment of what should be expected way forward after this judgment. Shiksha, remember, Kayamba gave an anticipatory bail for Waititu, that is governor for Kiambu, earlier on in May, if I'm not wrong, that he be released on an anticipatory bail. We are waiting really for the justice to be served this afternoon. We've been informed that in 15 minutes' time, the judge will be here to deliver the judgment that all eyes are waiting for this afternoon. Shiksha.
All right, of course, all eyes will be set at Milimani Law Courts to know the update of Magistrate Kayamba, who will be, of course, in court in the afternoon. So, yes, we'll be giving you more details in our subsequent bulletins. For now, moving on, residents of Umoja 3 are at risk of being infected with waterborne diseases after a sewer line burst and started spewing waste water into their houses. The residents are now seeking alternative shelters. Take a look.
The project that was started by the World Bank as a donation is turning out to be a problem. The residents are infuriated by the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, accusing the management of laxity and only collecting water bills every month without fixing the damaged drainage system.
Na hii shida tumekuwa nayo for the last 1 year, na wakati walimalizia walienda kama wametoroka, lakini kuna kampuni imebaki pale, na tukienda kupeleka complaint pale huwa hawachukuli hilo maanani. Pia MCA wetu tumejaribu kuteta kwake, anasema kuna wakubwa wana protect mambo kwa governor. Hata watoto hawajarara, kama hawa nijaribu kupeleka kwa jirani, asubuhi ndio nimeenda kuwachukua. Tukiingia kwa manyumba, hata watu kama mimi sasa nimekodesha watu na hata sijui wako wapi. Na ile hasara nimepata hata mkiingia huko kwa nyumba hamwezi amini.
The residents are now urging the Nairobi County government to man the project on the ground and try abolish the cartels that have infuriated the waste management agencies, making it difficult for agencies to fix the sewage menace in the area.
Ni kama tumelala nje na watoto. Hata sasa hivi hatujui tutalala wapi. Juu kwa manyumba zote zimejaa sewage. Tungeomba usaidizi tusaidiwe venye tutafanya.
Nimegonjeka nikatumia pesa nyingi kwa ajili ya shida ya sewage. Hiyo sewage imenisumbua kwa muda mrefu. Na si mwaka moja ama mbili, karibu miaka 6, miaka 8 tukiwa na hii shida.
Imekaa kuanzia 202 wakati tumeingia hapa Mgunda. Watoto wetu tunaenda bila slippers, hata tunakosa hata pesa ya kula, tutanunua slippers ama gumboot. Sewage imetusumbua.
Sijui nani atanipatia kwa kulala. Jana ni usiku, nitoka saa 6 usiku nikaenda kutafuta kwa kulala. Sasa hivi tunaongea na nyinyi, sijui ni wapi ndalala. Niko na mtoto mdogo hivyo vile mnaniona.
Mombi Okoth, K24 News Cut.
Meanwhile, the debate surrounding constitutional change or referendum continues to elicit mixed reactions among the politicians. Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa has called on Kenyans to critically analyze the proposals on the referendum, with ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi maintaining devolution should be enhanced and clear laws set on the division of revenue. Daniel Kariuki reports.
In the wake of the ongoing referendum talk, leaders have warned that issues to be addressed in the constitutional amendments need to be tackled with a very clear mind, as the constitution will be used to guide Kenyans. Devolution CS Eugene Wamalwa has warned that constitutional amendments should be issue-oriented and not based on building personalities.
Tiba tunatengezea wa Kenya wote milioni 45 na hatujitengezei hata sisi wenyewe, sababu kesho tutaondoka vile Donald Emperich ameondoka. Lakini Kenya hii itabaki. Katiba tunatengezea watoto wetu na watoto wajao na vizazi vijavyo.
Wamalwa further said politicians should not take sides or have political alignments. And as a back and forth continues on the division of revenue bill, a section of leaders have maintained devolution should be the core of the constitutional review. ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi, who toured Makueni County Thursday, hailed a devolution for changing lives of millions.
Where you stand to defend devolution, we shall stand with you. Devolution tusikubali kamwe, hata wakati watu wanazungumza mambo ya kubadilisha katiba ama vipengele kadhaa kwa katiba hapa na pale. We can only ask for one thing kwa mambo ya devolution. Do not deduct, only enhance. Matters devolution. Do not deduct, only enhance.
Devolution is Kenya's lifeline. If we strangle devolution, we kill Kenya. It is as simple as that. And for me, you know, coming from Nairobi to come and work in the counties, it's because from the constitution that we dream together as Kenyans, I realized that our limping state was going to be revived by devolution. And that is why, you know, we came to work what sometimes people call villages.
Mudavadi and a host of other Western leaders castigated the national government over their delay to increase funds in the counties, saying the stalemate over the formula used to dividing revenue was dangerous and could derail projects that are valuable in the counties.
Tutakuwa na initiative nyingine ambayo inatoka kwa mashinani, inatoka kwa county government, ambayo umeita the Ugatuzi Initiative. Governor na governor wenzako na kusihi mutoke mbio, hii initiative yenu ikuje.
For us now, even mishahara ile ilikuwa inalipwa ikiwa mtu bado aja maliza kulipa madeni ya contractors wale bado kumaliza kazi, lakini wamepata contracts already, which is a problem.
On Thursday, governors threatened to shut down counties as from 16th of September as the stalemate over the division of revenue persists. Daniel Kariuki, K24 News Cut.
All right, moving on. Kacheliba Funds manager Wilson Korengura has applauded prevailing peace along the volatile borders and has seen tremendous improvement on the positive change on the lives of the pastoral communities who have been fighting over banditry and cattle rustling. Now, the Kacheliba constituency in Pokot North, which borders Turkana South, is set to roll out its multi-million projects that had stalled over the years due to the escalation of insecurity. Korengura added that projects worth millions of shillings are set to be rolled out to ensure that development is realized in the region, saying the security of contractors and its workers is guaranteed. He cited some ongoing projects which include schools, dispensaries and construction of a police post.
Nikafurahia sana hii amani idumu kule boda ya Pokot na boda ya Turkana. Na inawezesha sisi sasa tuendelee kufanya zile projects ambaye zilikuwa zimekwama kama Ombolion Primary School, Takawia Primary School, Caron Primary School, na ngine tunataka kuanzisha kule inaitwa Apuke Primary School ambaye bado ni msituni, watu wako huko lakini hakuna shule sababu ya hii mambo ya insecurity.
All right, that's how we wrap up this edition of K24 News Cut. Thank you for watching this hour. My name is Shiksha Arora, joined by a sign language interpreter this afternoon, Pauline Muthoni. We'll do this again. Until then, don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we have Tony Kwalanda with all your sports banter.